Shalom Israel. With ISUPK, start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we teach blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Started off in 1969 under command of Johnny Yohana. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. In fact, if you're not in ISUPK under command of Johnny Yohana, you're not under the truth. Let's lock it for a second. Okay. Let's lock it there. Officer Kazak Shapar, Precinct Officer Kazak Shapar 50, teaching the LASHAWAN QADASH class in South Carolina. Hope everybody can hear me. If you're in the chat, type a 1 in the chat. Let's see. I want to make sure the class is up and running. We've been having problems with technical difficulties with the computer here, but we want to make sure everything is running okay. So let's make sure everything is all right. Tawab, looks like we got things going okay. All right. Right, okay. Well, we're the ISUPK and our South Carolina school. And of course, we're going to talk about some things here today. We're going to talk about the Hebrew characters and how they very good. We got somebody in class there. We see some people. We're going to talk about if you can hear me okay and everything's okay in the communication, type a 1 in the chat. Okay. If you can hear me all right in the chat, type a 1 in your chat. Precinct Officer Kazak Shapar 50. We're going to make sure all the transmissions are working okay before we start, all right? So lock it for a second. Just make sure. D'Angelo, good. The water, D'Angelo. Young warrior. You keep checking in. You get your Hebrew name, bro. The water. Appreciate that. We got somebody else checking in class. Okay, good. So class is rolling okay. And as you can see, ISUPK Officer Nataza, our camp leader, has provided us with a brand new expensive board. This is twice as big. I'm all the way over here. This board is like twice as big. It's about, I don't know, 8 by 4, I believe. It's an 8 by 4 foot new board. Of course, we have to the left we have our chart, but we have an 8 by 4 brand new board. That means I got to do less erasing, more talking, and they give you guys a chance to type in the chat. So get your pencil and paper out, and let's explore LASHAWAN QADASH and how it was written in the Paleo and the Syrian Hebrew, of course, We'll wait for a few more people to get in the chat. What I'm trying to do is live chat. Let's see what we got going on here. D'Angelo, good. Good. Okay. So people are in the chat. Good. Everybody can hear me. Let's see what else we got. Make sure everybody got their transmission going up right. Shar, Mosan Christ, Shar. Okay, you got it? Okay, appreciate that, Shar. Shar can hear it. Officer Shar can hear it. Out of Moneta. Water warrior. We got some more people. Okay, let's clap it up for the class. That's number 1. Brand new board. Officer Nafzah, camp leader. Our camp leader was so generous out of his pocket to come and get us an 8 by 4. 4 by 8 long board. That's twice as big. I mean, you couldn't ask for no better. We do illustrations. We do LASHAWAN QADASH class. Hey, Listen, South Carolina got it going on. We're on the move. We're in the groove. You know, we right in there. We right in there now. See, we're getting there. See, most time you ought to come and join us in ISUPK. Get in the class right here. Join us, fill up these seats. We'll have a few students in class, a few students online, and to make sure that you get your seat and your session is reserved for you. But with ISUPK, like I said, start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana, where we teach blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians make up and are indeed the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We started off in 1969, under Commander General Yohana. That's where we teach blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Get in class, get a flyer, and get in class. And we're going to teach tonight's class. We're going to let you know that LASHAWAN QADASH is the holy tongue. Okay, it's the original tongue. Of course, that's that top line represented here. All right? And, of course, we have a similar line, that middle line right there. This middle line right here, right there, it shows the Syrian Hebrew. And of course, the Syrian Hebrew is when we were in captivity in Assyria, in Daniel's days, in Babylon, Syria, the northern kingdom. I think the 10 tribes fell in the Syrian captivity also. I think they were the ones, mainly. You know, but we have a lot to be thankful for the Most High giving us the LASHAWAN QADASH class. We're going to get in class tonight and talk to you a little bit about the similarities of Paleo, so you'll understand. You know, Paleo sometimes, and we'll get into the similarities also. Let's write that on the board. It's called, we have Paleo similarities, and then we're gonna get into class also when we talk about don't be trying to get close to the oppressor. You know, we're gonna get into all of that, but we have the similarities. Similar Paleo. We'll do this. I got plenty of room on the board now, see? Similar Paleo characters. What that means is some characters in Hebrew look alike. And that's a problem. Why is that a problem? Because you're trying to learn them. Let's see, we have Sister Adrian in class. Good. Yahweh Shema Thah Shem Yahweh Shai, sister. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai to all my brothers. Yahweh Shema Thah Shem Yahweh Shai to all of my sisters. Okay? Akwathians. And we want to make sure that you understand. We want to make sure that you understand that the similarities of Paleo characters, when you study them, sometimes you have to study them to the point of understanding that some of these things look alike. And I try to put in order, in line here, some similarities. I think I did this class before, but I'm going to refresh it here. Going to let you know. We're going to try to help show you guys the similarities here and see if you can pick them out. And see if you can tell the difference, because, let me erase it here. Got a brand new board, still got the sheen on it, you know, brand new. Well, thank Officer Natazah. As a matter of fact, if you're in the chat and you're out there and you're part of South Carolina School and you're in the chat right now, or you're anywhere in the chat, just clap it up for Officer Natazah. He did this for the South Carolina School under the direction of Commander General Yohana. Let's clap it up. Okay? Let's clap it up in class. You know, that's appreciated. Somebody taking their time out, their money, and their effort to make sure that we get the tools and resources that we need. That's right. Clap it up in class. Go ahead. Clap it up. It's not a problem that we get the tools and resources that we need to teach properly, give us young officers the tools and resources that we need to teach this class properly. Okay? You know, he's out there working hard and taking out of his own pocket, out of his own money, you know. I didn't ask. It just came up one day and say, you know, I wasn't content with the little boy, but he knew, you know, I got a little boy stuck over in the corner for for some little backup illustrations, man. But you know, this board is so big, I can float around on this board, man. This is like teaching school, you know. But that's the whole thing. That's the Most High wants us to be the head, not the tail. He wants to be first, you know. And that's what we are, and that's what. While we're in our captivity, doesn't mean our mind has to be captive. Our mind doesn't have to be slave. You know, we're here. They got our time. They got our everything about us, you know. But we're gonna let you know this is the Most High's work here, getting the new boards, and Commander General Yohana is directing Officer Natazah, our camp leader, to get this new board, you know. Because Officer Davida for a long time had the little smaller board, and it brought us thus far to this one. We got to clap it up for both of them, you know. Clap it up for class here. And so we got to make sure that but the Most High, the Commander General Yohana, listening to Yahushua, said, "Listen, get them boys a new board over there." And this is how we train our officers. This is how I am trained. I simply follow suit of my captains, follow suit of my officers, and the men over me, follow suit of the generals, of course. And of course, ultimately, Commander General Yohana, who tell me, say, "Look, man, this is what we got to do." So that's it's got to be expected, you know. Kazak, you go up in rank. This is what you need to do, man. You need to go park that Mercedes. Just kidding. Get a Volkswagen and put some of that money to the school. And that's best. I'm being facetious, but you know, if it amounts to that, listen. This world's getting ready to come to an end, man. And that's what it's all about: getting new boards, getting new charts, putting new paint on the wall, getting people to come in for one reason and one reason only. And that's to learn that the blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel, that Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, is our God and Lord, and Yahweh Shah is our Hamashiach. And that's what we learn here in Hebrew. That's the Most High of the universe, and we learn that he has a son. You know, and his name is Yahweh Shah, and he's our Savior, Hamashiach. Okay, so that's the whole thing. So we're gonna get into class. We're gonna let you know. Let me see. Got more people clapping up in class. Got people joining class. D'Angelo, Adrian, good. Glad. Keep it up. Okay, let's keep it going. Okay, just in case you know, this is the Paleo. The thing about Paleo, you know, you look at it, similar. Similar. I think that's how you spell it. Similar Paleo. Similar Paleo characters. Okay, and Hebrew, we'll get into it again. You know, I try to redo things over and over again for consistent purposes. Hebrew has 22 characters in it. 22 of them. Okay? And these are part of the characters right here. I just put them in a righteous order, so to speak, so that you can see how similar they look. You see how the similarities are there? You see the similarities? You can see, well, you know, these right here, of course, and these right here. The similarities, what they look like. So you'll understand that when you see them, say, man, they all jumble up. But if you start to make out the similarities, then of course, you'll begin to understand what the characters are. In Hebrew, it reads from right to left. Now, we know we got similar Paleo characters here. Somebody type in the chat how many of those characters are. It's important to know this information. How many characters do we actually have? We'll have on the chart, Abba Gada Hawa Zakata Yakala Manasa Patasa Kwa Rashata. How many are those? Somebody type it in the chat. Type in the chat. Let me know. Let Kazak Shapar know how many characters we got. How many characters do we have? How many characters are there? Let's see who's typing in the chat. I know by now that we all know this. Adrian says, okay, now Adrian, wait a minute. Let's see, what'd you say, 26? Now remember, Adrian, that's how many in the English language. I didn't say how many in the English language. How many does the Hebrew have? All right, how many characters does the Hebrew have? You're close. You're off just a little bit. How many? They're not 26. You're close. So how many are there, Adrian? Let's do that one again, okay? Let's see. There you go. Clap it up for Sister Adrian. Exactly right. Sister Adrian and Sister Ayana. Yeah, Sister Ayana and Sister Adrian, they got it right. Okay, Sister Ayana and Adrian, they got it right. They're not 26. There are 22. I know sometimes it gets a little bit some understanding there involved. Some involved, and sometimes we think when you say 26, there are 26 Hebrew, 26 characters from the English. Of course, we're talking about Hebrew characters, 22. And of course, in that, and they're saying that, how many vowels do we have? How many vowels do we have? Type it up in the chat. Now we have so many vowels, because there are A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y. There's 6 vowels, 5, maybe 6 vowels in the English language. Of course, we're talking Paleo and Syrian Hebrew. That's the language that we're talking here. How many characters are there? How many characters are in the Hebrew language? Let's find out. Let's type it up. How many do we have? Let's see, D'Angelo. Let's see, and D'Angelo and the other young troopers. Just make sure y'all put this down in your notes. Keep good notes. That's important in Hebrew to keep good notes. I've always started like for instance, like right here. Let's see. See, these are books right here. It's about 3 years old on this book right here. When I first started as a trooper. In July. Okay, 4th of July is when I came in as a trooper. Started teaching class. I think it was January, passed officer's test, January of 2020. Okay? Right there. I'm just keeping books. The reason why I keep these books and collect them because that's my information. I put information. If I want to grab something, no one's going to hold your hand. All I can do is teach it to you. You got to come up with the understanding. Okay? You got to be able to determine and see what's going on. All right? That's what you have to do. Okay? Well, let's see here. Adrian says 2 vowels. That's exactly right. There you go. That's right, D'Angelo. Adrian says 2 vowels, and I'm sure Ayana, you're right behind her. I'm pretty sure. But there are. Let's clap it up for Sister Adrian. Exactly right. There's 2 vowels, okay? There's 2 vowels in the Hebrew. Salaki. 2 vowels. Okay. 2 vowels. Salak you for that. Sorry about that. 2 vowels in the Hebrew. And what are those vowels? Somebody tell me real quick. I'm going to go over this every week right before class and make sure, because we always have young students in class. I want to make sure they know. I don't want them to pass by because we got people looking all the way from Jamaica all the way over to California, from New York all the way down to Florida, all the way down to Texas, looking at this class. So I want to make sure if you're starting out, we always give the information up front so you'll understand it. So how many, we got 22 characters, 22 in the Hebrew. And that's Paleo and the Hebrew characters. There's always 22. And we have 2 vowels. What are those vowels? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me what those vowels are. Adrian, you said there was 2 vowels, so tell me which one are they? D'Angelo and Ayana. And let's see, who else we got in class? Of course, sure, we ain't asking you to tell nobody. You should know that anyway. But this is just for beginning people who are starting out, who are learning. What are the name of those vowels? You know? What are they? What vowels do we have? Let's see. Let's see what we have. Let's see. Dequan Curse is checking in. That's Quan. Trooper. And then we have Dequan. Oh, okay. Clap it up for Dequan. Clap it up for him. Young man says, gonna be a trooper real soon here. He said the like this, and the I. The and the I. Oh, let's make it look like an anyway. The and the I. And that in Paleo looks like this. Okay, and the I, it looks like that. In the Syrian, it looks like this. That ain't gonna work. Gotta get down here to the gritty there. That ain't gonna work either. Man, I hate doing this. There we go. That's an A, okay. And then the I over here, of course, looks like that. Okay. This is the Paleo right here. And this is the Syrian right there. The looks like this. And the I looks like that. Okay? Over here in the Syrian, see that board's so big, man. I got my camera angled all the way down to the bottom. The A looks like that, or the and the I looks like that. And when this board's so big, normally I would normally have to erase. There again, we got a beautiful board up here. And we don't even have to erase, okay? 2 vowels, the and the I. And so Daquan, you have that. And all those who who may want to write in your notes, write that down. So we're going to erase that off the board here. And we're going to get into some similarities. See, this is the kind of stuff you need to type in your notes for your similarities. Daquan. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll let you guys similar character. Make sure you write this down on the board here. Give you about 10 seconds to write that down. Let's see. Shalom. Oh, good. Glad you're checking in there. Okay. Some more water out. I want you guys to make sure that you guys there you go. Okay. Make sure that you guys are awake in the chat, and make sure you understand similarities. Okay, so this first similarity, this first group right here, looks like a bunch of sticks. But in Hebrew, these sticks mean something. And of course, over here, we have something like a bunch of sticks also. But they got similarities here, and these got similarities, okay? Over here, We have something that looks like some squigglies. Yeah, okay. Let's see. And we also have over here something that looks like with an O. One has an X in it. Over here it looks like an O, but we're going to tell you what that is in a second. We got a triangle here, we got a backwards 4, and we got a character. You know, it's got a tail like this. We can almost put this one up here. Come think of it. Matter of fact, I think I will because of the similarity of it. Let's put it down right here. Let's put it right here. Okay. It doesn't matter where I put it. I'm just trying to make you see the similarities in them, all right? Once you understand the similarities, it kind of help you along with understand how to write these. Okay, the first ones. And then we have these two right here. Then, of course, we have one, the backwards C down there. And this is all Paleo. The most like I can tell the similarities here. These are the ones that people get jumbled up sometime. So, over here, we have, and write these in your notes, we have this similarity here. This is called a ha. Okay? That's ha. All right? Ha. All right? That's a ha. That's a ha. Over here, we have what we call a ka. Okay? All right? That's a ka. Now, you see some similarities there because, let me see here. The similarities is that with the exception of one line, just one, right here, you would have a ka. So therefore, you got to remember, what in the world is the difference? You know, with that exception right there. Now, I'll erase that line. But if you just draw a slight line just like that, you'll have a similarity. Y'all see the difference? You know, if you see it in the chat, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat. See the difference here between a ha and a ka? Now, this is in Paleo. We're going to get into the Syrian also because a lot of people, when they're reading the Tanakh, which is part of our school understanding when we read, especially when we read the Hebrew in class, Sabbath class. We read out of the Tanakh. We may read it in Paleo, but lately we've been reading in the last few months, of course, in Syrian. And that's good. We have no problem with that. All right? So, if you have any questions, like I said, make sure you type them up in the chat. Let's see. Okay, good. D'Angelo 1. Okay, good. So D'Angelo understands. He understands that. He understands that if I write like a little cone, but if I take a line out of there, right here, and put another line across the top, I'll have a ka. If I take something, put another line in there, and that's what it is. So I'll just put a little dash there so you can see the similarities, okay? I don't want you just to understand, but that's just a similarity. Matter of fact, let me put an arrow right here so you know that that's not real, okay? All right, well, we have what we call, anybody in the chat knows what this one is? See if y'all see how familiar you are with the Hebrew chart. What is this? Because it looks just like these. But what is that? We're in the Paleo Hebrew, so what is that? All you have to do is that's not a problem referring to your chart. Not a problem at all. Well, what is that? Let's see what we got. Dequan says a sa. He's exactly right. Let's clap it up for Dequan. He says a sa. Okay, and that's the similarity. Clap it up for him, okay? Exactly right. Now, why is it important to understand the difference between the ha, the ka, and the sa? Because they look alike. You know, I can take this sa right here and come over here. You know, if it ain't too much different than putting another line right here and extending these lines, and I got a ka. Really, I mean, it can look like that. It can confuse you. Okay? Don't be afraid to type it up in the chat. Where are my sisters at? I know y'all normally participate in class too, so just take a stab at it. All you have to do is refer to your Hebrew chart. Don't be afraid. You don't have to close your eyes and say, you know, I'm cheating. No, you're not. Just look at the Hebrew chart. We did it for a long time till you finally get familiar with it. Okay? All right. Let's go. What letter we have here? We have two letters. One is like a regular L and one is like an upside down L or upside down 7. So what are these? Name the first one. What's the first one? We're talking about the similar Paleo characters. Let's see what we got here. D'Angelo, what do you say here? D'Angelo said, let's see. Quan said D'Angelo said the la, and DeQuan said, and then he said the God. That's right. He's right. He's right. Both of y'all are right. Both of y'all. The first one is a la, and that's a God. That means when you hear the sound la, like lakam, like bread, lakam, and that's the first character you're going to see. Let's use a word like that. La, come. Let's use some of these, okay? There's your la right there, and then there's your ka right there, okay? So in other words, we said ka, there it is right here, and then we said la, there it is. So clap it up for those two brothers right there, okay? Exactly right. The la and the come. Of course, we have the M over there. We'll get to that in a second here. All right, let's go down here. What's on the next line over here? On the next line. On the next line. What is that one? What is the first one? Look like a stick with a little Z. What is that? Let's see if we got it over here. Okay? Stick with a little Z in it. Somebody said, DeQuan said, DeQuan on fire tonight now. He said a tazah. And he's exactly right. So we're going to put it over here. Ta-za. And he's right. Okay? Tazah. Because that's what that is. Right here. And all you got to do is refer to your Hebrew chart. That's not a problem. Okay? Not a problem doing that. And that's how you learn. We got, what's the next one over here? Tazah. Tazah. It's got some similarities to that because it look like a little Z right there. And so what's the next one? What's the next one going to be? What is this one right here? What's that? Because I think he put, let's see, DeQuan, you got a za. And a lot of students, you know, DeQuan, he's on fire tonight. Za. And there we go. Okay? And he's right. So we sometimes we have a word called ra, tazah. Okay? There's that tazah right there. So that word would read, if you were going to write in Hebrew, it would be and we're talking about Paleo Hebrew. We won't go confused. We'll get with a Syrian in a second. Ara, and then we have tazah. Okay? And since tazah is normally an ending character in the Paleo, but this is not, in the Syrian, I apologize. So when you see it in the end, this is normally a different type of tazah. But you ain't got to worry about that because this is Paleo. Okay? So ratazah. Okay? All right. Good. So, okay, now what's the next character? Anybody know? This looks like, and these right here have these little hooks on the end right there. Right here. Like that. What do they got? They got the little hooks on the end. Just like that. What's this one? Right there. I'm sorry. What's the first one? Right there. What is that? Because we got all these kind of look alike because they got little hooks on the end there, little like a little fish hook. Well, what are they? What is that called? Daquan said a ma. The first one is ma. Okay, good. All right, we hope you like this. We hope you like this when you're reading. Now we'll read that Tanakh now in the morning. Don't forget these characters now, trooper, young man. You got them recognized now, so that's what I'm saying. Keep them recognized. That's the point. That's how you grow in the Syrian Hebrew, by keeping them in the first and foremost in your mind. Okay, because this is the top line we're reading here. Okay. Salaki for a second. Y'all be writing that down. Salaki for a second. Okay. All right. Okay. Ma. So that brings us to the next one. What's the next one? We got a ma, then what's that? And of course you can see the M in the ma. You can see it. It's like an upside down, the way you can tell in some of these. Let's see if I got it. Here you go, blue. All right. The way you can tell sometime, there you go. The way you can tell sometime is that you can see the upside down M right there. That's how you know. Okay? Let's see what we got here. The ma, Daquan said there again. Come on, y'all. You gonna let Daquan get all the answers? All right. Nah. All right, what's this one right here? We're talking again, similar Paleo characters. They look just alike, but they have some similarities in them, of course. Like over here, who would have known that this is turned sideways? What's the next one over here? We're talking Paleo. Talking Paleo. Right there. What's that one? Let's see what we got. Okay. Okay, he's got the, let's see what it says. It's the Syrian that I get confused with. And I understand. And we're going to get into that, Syrian. Because this is a bastardized language there. It get confused. We're going to get into that one in a second. And we're going to show you how to break that down just a little bit, okay? This is the ba. We're going to get into the Syrian in just a second here. Okay? And right here, this is the wa. We'll go ahead and put it there. That's the wa. And of course, that you can see, like I say, you have ha, ka, sa, la, ga. They're not in order, but they're similar. We're just showing you, putting them beside each other so you can see the similarities. We have to za, ma, na, ba, and wa. Okay? Kind of look alike. Okay? Over here, we have what we call a ta. It looks like this O over here, but that O really is not an O, it's an I. That's what the I in Paleo Hebrew looks like, an open circle there. And of course, this ta here is the same thing. It's a circle, but it only has a little shield or X in there. It looks like a shield. but it's a ta. You know, these are, and of course we have the da. All right. We have the da. And then we have a ra. All right. Okay. And over here, we have another ka, but only it has a K. And that's a big difference. It is not the same ka. It is not the same ka as this one. They look totally different. That's why I put them on different lines here so you can see. Okay? Now we'll leave that up on the board and we'll get into the Syrian right now. Really, the confusion, that's not really, it's confusing, but I guess because it's not the pure language, but it's just a matter of studying, you know, that's all. It's just a matter of studying it, and then you'll get it, okay? So let's go into the, the Paleo, the similar Paleo. We'll go down here. I mean, the Syrian, I'm sorry. The similar, if I can get me a good pencil to write with here. It's a lot. Okay. We're going to go on over here. I ain't got to erase too much, you know. Similar. Oh boy. Hands are drying out. Similar. Okay. Similar. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. And then we have the confusion can be something like this. As simple as this. Let's say I see what people get confused like over these right here. Here's what people get messed up on right here. Let me back up for a second here. Let me back up for 1 second. Let me do this. Let's come over here. Now, that's all. Let's come over here and do this one. We're going to put right here that one, and we're going to put this one right here. Now I want y'all to tell me what is the difference, and let me show y'all how these can easily get confused. But I want y'all to show me, I want y'all to tell me what they are. You know, tell me what those two are. These, now we're working on the Assyrian. Okay, let's write it up here. Assyrian. This is the Syrian Hebrew, okay? The similarities in the Syrian Hebrew. Let's break those down. That's important to understand, okay? The similarities in the Syrian Hebrew. All right, let's break it down. What do we got here? Okay? In the Syrian Hebrew, these two look just alike. All right, let's see if I can find some more. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. Let's get ways out of the way here. Whoa. Here's another one. Let's do this one. And I want y'all to tell me, because I see sometimes we have a lot of difficulties with these three right here. Okay? Somebody tell me, I get them to look sort of just like it, really. Sort of like that. Okay? Tell me, if you're in the chat right now, see these three right here? They give people a lot of trouble. And the reason why they give people a lot of trouble, because they look exactly alike. They look like a N, the letter N, like na, but they're not at all. Let's see what we got to have in the chat here. Ha and the ka. Ha and the tha. Yeah, you're right. The ha and the ka. Okay, good. Okay. Well, let's unconfuse them for you. In the Syrian, let me show you what's going on here. Okay. This is for everybody. Let's pay attention. All right. In the Syrian, this is the language we got out of that captivity. If you notice, there's a space right in here. That space make this a ha. Okay? That space right there, because it looks just like the ka. Because if I close it, you couldn't tell different. You have to learn to recognize the similarities, all right, or the differences for that matter. And this is over here. If you look on the chart right there, that is the same as the ka, okay? So we're going to call it that. The ka. Because that's what it is. If you notice, there is no space in between there. Like it normally would be right there, but there isn't one. As a matter of fact, it goes all the way down. It goes just like that. See if I got it drawn exactly right. Yeah, something like that. Sort of looks like, really, kind of like a little, like that. Okay, but if you notice, the biggest difference between the ha and the ka is this space right there. I'll make it magnanimous. See that space right there? If you can see that space in the chat, type a 1 in the chat for me. If y'all can see that, everybody, all the students. If you see it, let me know, because this is important. A lot of people get this confused. Okay? And that's what most of the confusion is. Most of the confusion is that most people don't recognize that space right there. If y'all, and we'll let everybody just type it in the chat. I know there are more people in the chat than that. We'll give you a few seconds. I want to make sure that everybody can see, because we're in a Syrian similarities. Okay? We did the Paleo characters. Let's do the Syrian similarity. Okay? Right here. You see it in that chat, type it in the chat. Everybody. If you're on that line right now, I see D'Angelo, I believe Adrian, Quan, D'Angelo, everybody type it in that chat, okay? Everybody, you see it in there, because that space right there is what throws people off. Okay, over here on the tha, what throws people off on the tha is this. I'm going to write that similarity right here. This one, right there. That little club foot. Because that looks like a golf club. That's how you can tell that is a tha. Okay, that's a tha. Just like that, all right? Okay, now the tha, we get back over here. Not that it matters over here. We get back over here. The tha that's the tha for the paleo is over there. That's right there. It looks sort of like that. Don't look nothing like this tha here. Of course, we're talking about. You got to know both languages, okay? Okay. Here's most people mess up right here. The ha has a space right there. The ka doesn't have one. They look just alike. So when you see a ha, there it is. You see the ka, there it is. All right? I mean, I can't say it no better than that. The ha, yeah, that's what they look like. The ha and the ka. Okay? And we'll get into the next one here in a second, because I got it in my mind what it is. And the tha. And the tha has that little club on the end, okay? So let's get that one down packed. So let's get this one. Let's find out what's the next ones that people kind of get confused with. I see one right here. Let's call it that D. This da right here. Let's see here. Wait a minute. The da. That da. Let's draw it right here. Looks like some sort of 7 there, you know. And I'm going to show you the difference between that and an aura. Right there, okay? If you notice, I mean, I know in the chart, it's sort of, you got to pay attention to this, and it's hard. I mean, it's a rough shot. Right over here. Okay. This is a da. Right there. Okay? That da. That's a da. And then what makes this a da? It looks like a 7 or some sort of glorified T, only just has a little stem on the right here. Okay? Now let's find another similarity over here that looks like it, and it would be the aura. This is what people get confused with a lot here too. They can confuse that with this aura look. And the aura is a ra. Okay? It looks just like that. Only it's a little bigger. Like that. Now this, okay, lock it. That's a ra. There it is, right there. Let's lock it for a second there. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, good. Okay. Y'all hang in there. All right. Right there. Okay. The da and the ra, they look just alike except for the fact the ra is more of a curve right here. And I'll kind of draw that curve in there. It's sort of like this. Like that. It's a curve. Now I hope if you see the differences, type a 1 in the chat. Everybody in the chat. The ra has like the same look as 7, only has a curve right there. And the da is more like a, if you really want to know, the da is on the handwritten. You have to go with what the handwritten, because that right there, how it reads, is more like this. Okay? And it's like that. So when you see it, I'll make it. If you see the difference, it looks like a T, but only the T is not exactly in the middle. It's like on the right-hand side of it. That would be a D, a da. So I see y'all. I see some troops of young men over there seeing the similarities in the Syrian. Okay, that's what we're doing right now. The similarities in the Syrian. All right. Okay. And the other similarity, like I said, the ra, and sometimes the ra will be wider. You'll see it a lot. We'll make it even wider, because sometimes you can really tell. You can tell in the Tanakh. It's like it's wider. You know, like that. Okay. That's the big difference. All right. Those are similar. Let's get into some more similarities here. Well, you guys write that down so you won't have to worry about that again. Write it down. Write that down so you can see it and you won't have to worry about it again. All right? Okay, good. Okay. All right. Let's find some more similarities before we go on with this sentence over here that we want to break down in Hebrew. That's important. It's important. And we're learning the similarity of Paleo characters here and the similarities, the similar aspects of the Syrian, because that's going to help you to break down what these things look like. But they sound alike, but you just got to understand. You got to be able to recognize them. Okay. So let's see. We see any more that looks like that? No, not really. Yeah. Okay. Here's one. When you see an ending character that looks like this, here's one. Here's one, an ending character. All right, let's go to the ending character. The ending character of a ka. It looks just like almost a dollar. Okay? It does. But only the problem is and you see it occurs only at the end, and it's a little longer. It looks just like this. And it don't have a stem. It's sort of just a little. There, it looks just about like that. Okay, yeah, this is called the ending character, and that is a ka. But only this is the ending character of a ka. In other words, it's the ending character of a ka. It occurs at the end in Assyrian. You see this? That sound at the end is going to be a ka. Okay? All right? You'll see it. Sometimes you see it. It's just pronounced just like it said, a ka. But if not, it will look like this, a ka, right here. It'll look like this. If it's not at the end, it will look like that. But on the ending character, it'll look like that. Now look how similar these look. Look at these. Know the difference. The da, it's more of a straight with a little stem on the right. The ra has got looks like a 7 with a whip at the top and a curve right there. Look like a ra. And it's usually wider, but the ka is usually narrower. I tried to draw it narrow. Let's draw it a little bit more narrow. I tried. Like that. Okay? Narrow. And it's got a longer stem in the Tanakh. That's how it reads. And of course, in handwritten, it reads like that also. Okay? The da, ra, and the ka look alike. The ha, ka, and the tha look alike. That's just the way it is. There ain't no explaining it no better than that, because that's what it looks like. Let's go into a couple more here. Let's go into some more here. Let's see. I see a lot of people get this confused. A lot of people may not know what this is, but they'll put right here. That's a na. All right? That's a na. That character right there. And that character, let's see if it looks like anything. The na. Not especially. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it looks, some people, I've seen it, some people think it's a ba. Like this. Like that. Some people think it's a ba, okay? Like that. So the na looks like that. If it doesn't occur at the end, of course it looks like this. This na right here. And of course the ba looks like this. Sometimes people get confused. I'm not going to say I don't know why, because it just depends on how you see it. That's the whole point of similarities here. We're trying to break down how things look, trying to figure it out, And here's a na. Let me tell you, here's another na that looks just like these cars over here. So let's write it down. It's the ending character for a ka. Only it's got like this, and it looks sort of like that. Just like that. Sometimes it's straight, but most of the time it's got like a little small at the top, and then it flares out. Looks sort of like that. That right there is also a na. But only that na occurs at the end. It occurs at the end only. Okay? And you'll see some examples So look at that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 4 characters that look almost identical. One, the na is slanted. It occurs at the end, so you got to worry about it. You sit at the end. Here's a ka that occurs at the end. It's not slanted. It's a little longer, and it's narrow. Both of these are narrow. But when you get to the ra, it's wider. Little curve around here, and the da is just straight, a straight line, and mostly it's got a little emphasis. I'll draw that little emphasis a little bit more right here at the end. You can see it, you know, especially when it's handwritten over here, way over here, way over there. Okay. Well, I don't know if you can't see me there. I'm sorry. It's a lot of you. Right here, right there. Okay. Let me see something here. All right. Let's see what we got there. There we go. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. And that's what the. All right. The na. Okay. Let's see. We'll dwell on this just a little bit longer. Oh, here's two. Here's something that people get confused right here. With this right here, we got a I. Sort of looks like a Y. That is actually an I, okay? And it looks just like the tazah. Here's one that looks like, let's see. Like that one, yeah, we'll make it look exactly like this. Sort of like that, handwritten, you know, not perfect, but when you see it in the Tanakh, it's important for me to try to draw it perfect so you can see it a little better. And that is the tazah. They sort of look alike, but they're totally different to each other there, okay? Oops. Tazah. All right? Boy, it sure feel good to be able to have the room and brevity to write all these on the board, you see? All right? Without erasing as much. Praise the Most High. All right? Most High in Christ. Okay, tazah. All right. And then, of course, the ending character of the tazah looks like this, sort of like this. Like that. And then, of course, yeah, it kind of comes in like that. Like that. That's a tazah. Only it occurs at the end. All right? And it occurs at the end. But if you notice, what I'm getting at is look how they look alike. They kind of similar, all right? Of course, tazah at the end, really, this tazah actually looks like more like a slant, more like that. All right? Sort of like that, okay? All these three, these are their families, na, ba. I mean, they have nothing to do with each other's sound, but except for they look alike. All right? Does everybody get the point? You know, and here, let's see. Do we have any more over there? I think there may be one more, I'm not sure, because everything else has its own unique look. Yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty much that's, you know, yeah, here. No, that doesn't look like anything. The car, yeah, okay, yeah. That's pretty much, here's something. If you would draw here people get these confused too. They draw the M, right, like that, and that's a ma, okay? That's a ma, and then we have, I think it's a sa, not the sa. Yeah, the sa. The sa looks like this. It's sort of like kind of hard to, it's sort of like that. That's a sa. And here's a ma. Okay? They look like this. Sort of like, in other words, it look like sort of like a square with a stem on it. I'll draw it that way, handwritten, okay? Sort of like that. Try to make it look right. Yeah. Okay? Okay? And the ma, the sa. One's more round looking. One's more oval looking, I'm sorry, with a little at the top. But this one's more like a, you see this at, this is also the M that occurs at the end, right here. That also occurs at the end. Okay, now, there we go. So we'll go over this again. The ha, it has a space right here. I know this is mundane and it seems like it does, oh man, boring. But listen, this is how you're gonna, after a while you begin to be able to see this, then we can go on bigger and better things. The ka, like that, no space. The tha has a club foot right there. They look just alike. The ha, ka, and the tha look just alike. Except the tha, like I said, has a club on the left. The ka has, it just looks just like it's supposed to, like a, I don't know, like an N. And the ha looks like an N also, but it has a space right there. Okay? The da looks like a little T with a line and it's offset. Got a little stem on the right, offset to the right. The ra is a little wider and it has a little curve on the end, curve at the top, a little wider, looks like a backwards R. The ka looks like the same thing, only it's narrow, looks like a 7, only it's longer. And it occurs at the end because you have ending characters, okay? The na over here looks like some sort of, I don't know how to even say how that would look like. Just look like a na. And the ba look like some sort of hangman, like that. Okay, but at the end over here, this na looks just like all these looks over here in Assyrian, this chicken scratch. It's the same thing, only sort of slanted. And it occurs at the end only. The tazah and the eye looks alike. You know, we'll make that look like this. Sort of like that. Okay? But you'll be able to recognize when you read the Tanakh, okay? And the tazah looks like that. I mean, they similar, but they, you know. And when one occurs at the end, it's like a Y again, only it's longer, looks like a Y, and it occurs at the end of an Assyrian word. Okay? The ma is like a square, and it occurs at the end with a little stem on the right, and the sa is like an oval circle, not quite, it's like an oval with a line across the top. And those are the similarities, okay? If you guys understand that, you know, clap it up or something and let me know in the chat, type of 1 or whatever. All right, we're going to move on to what we talked about also, the word envy. You know, what does that word mean? Let's look it up. Let's look that word up in the Hebrew, you know. Okay? Let's look that word up in the Hebrew. Let's look that word up in the Hebrew. Let's see here. I had it. We'll read it again just for clarity. Let's find out. When it says, envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his ways, the Bible says that, Proverbs 3:31. Let's go over there. Let's do this in Hebrew, okay? See if we got something here. We got a little time here. The definition of envy. All right? Envy is a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possession. Let's read that again. Qualities of love. Envy. A feeling of discontented or resentful longing, aroused. In other words, you're aroused by somebody else's possession? Were you some sort of nut? Don't envy somebody like that. And choose. The Bible says, be content in your own, and have your own thing. You don't have to envy somebody else. And even the commandments tell you, especially this is the oppressor. So the Bible says, envy not the oppressor. Choose none of his ways, because his ways will get you in trouble. That's for sure. A feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possession. You know, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. You know, soon we're going to have those possessions, and we're going to be back on top like we were in Israel. We don't have to worry. We're not going to have to worry about that anymore. The Most High is going to give these possessions back to us. But right now, the Most High is telling you, don't envy this. Okay? You ain't got no business envying what somebody else has anyway. But the Most High tell you, Quana'ah. Let's look at that word right here. Quana'ah. Qua. Proverbs 3 and 31. Qua. Na. Ah. Okay? Quana'ah. We'll go over it here. That's what that word means. It means don't be so discontented that you gotta have what the oppressor had. That's what's wrong with the Christian church. That's what's wrong with the Christian church right now. You know, they want the money that Esau has. Because you know, you look at it, getting $1 million homes and stuff, and you got these pastors out here, jack-legging churches, scattering our people. Listen, the Bible, the Most High says, don't envy what they got. You know, let's see who's checked in over here. Let's see. Kapah. Glad to have you here, Sister Kapah Banaf. I think you're from Texas. You are, type of one in the chat. I believe you are. I think that's what it is. But Quana'ah. The word for Quana'ah means, you know, don't envy. So we're going to write this in Paleo. I think that's what we want. We'll write it in Syrian, I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll write it in both. Let's write it in Qua. Qua, if we got room here. Qua, we'll write it in we'll write it in Syrian, since y'all having problems reading that. Quana'ah. Okay, Qua. Qua, like that. Okay. Qua, then of course we have na. Quana, then we have ah over here. Like that. Quana'ah. Yeah, if we got room to write it, we will. Okay, and it says thou, envy thou not. And it says basically, we're just going to put the word la'ah up here for no. Okay, so we'll say la is, we didn't do this in our similarities right here. Okay, and just look at how these are formed. Let's maybe be real accurate right here because I want you guys to refer to the similarities down here so you can see what I'm writing, so you'll understand, okay? So let's do it a little better. Let's go over here. All right, let's make it look exactly right. All right, like that. All right. Yeah, like this. Like that. Sort of like that. You know. I don't make it too magnanimous over there on that curve there. Sort of like that. That's an L, okay? A la, and then we're going to say ah. La ah, okay? We don't have to write any, we're not going to have to write any, we'll write any characters, of course, if we need them, but we won't write what am I trying to say? I'll think of a second here. Let's see, who else? Kapah, Khan, yeah. She's born in Texas. Good. Glad to have you, sis, in class. Keep up. Take notes, okay? Envy. Don't want what the oppressor has. The Most High says that. Because if you envy him, then you're going to be discontented. That's what envy means. You're going to be wanting to choose his ways. And we'll get into some of his ways in a second here, okay? All right. The. So the word for the is ha. Okay? Ha. That is a preposition. All right? Ha. This goes before the word, okay? Ha. That's what it is. So it looks like, and so we get over here, the ha looks like this, remember? Like that. So that means it goes like this, and it's got a space. Remember that space right there? There's that space right there. I'm making it as big as I can right there. There's that same space right there. That space. That's ha. Okay? All right? All right, then we have present, nagash. 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 Okay, there it is. Nagash. All right? So, that word nagash, so the first thing we're going to do is find out, well, what does it look like? It looks like this. That's what the end looks like. There it is right there. Now, it doesn't occur at the end. Okay. All right. All right, let's see. Make sure, see who else we got checking in over here. Glad to be here, sir. All right. There you go, sis. Thank you. The water. Na. Okay. There's the na. Right there. You know? Of course, like I said, this is a Syrian. We don't have to write any connectors. That's the word I was looking for. Lord have mercy. We don't have to write, we don't need no connectors on a Syrian. We just make sure we watch out for the ending characters, okay? So far we don't have any ending characters. Nothing at the end that needs to be brought out, you know. That's on that bottom, that's this line right here. There are 5 ending characters, but we don't need to draw any of them on the board yet for our attention, okay? So, let's write it out. So the Bible says, envy thou not the oppressor. You'll find, let's turn to Proverbs 3 and 31. Let's make sure. Let's see if that we have that correct here. Let's see what the Bible says about that. Let's read that. Let's read, turn to your Bible. Always try to go to the Bible, LASHAWAN QADASH class, because that's the whole point of being able to read out of the Bible and to not reading the word of the Most High. Not just for the memorization of words, but you got to learn how to read this Hebrew first to understand, and once it'll unlock a lot of mysteries of words in the Hebrew. Okay? So what is that? Proverbs 3 and 31. Okay? It says, let's see what it says here. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. And that's what we're writing. We're writing the translation of what that is on the board. It's Kwana Allah Aha Nagash. You know, thou not, okay. In Hebrew, sometimes it will leave words out like, thou, thee. But ha over here is the, it'll say thou not. So if you said la'ah, you'd be good. It would understand. If I said envy not the oppressor instead of thou not, that's old English there, it would be understood. I understand it, so I know it would be understood. So envy not the oppressor, or envy thou not the oppressor in this case. So it's Kwana'ah, La'ah, Hadagash. And this is how you write it. We'll finish writing the let's see. And choose none of his ways, the Bible says. And we're going to write that also. We don't need to be choosing the ways of our oppressor. And let's write in the chat. Who is our oppressor? Somebody type in the chat. Who's our oppressors? Give me the main number one oppressor that's oppressing Israel right now. Write in that chat, please. Who is that main one, main nation, main character, the main understanding the Bible speaks of, the devil the Bible speaks of? Who is that? Tell me who that is. Tell me who that is. Tell me. Type it in the chat. Who's got it? Who knows? D'Angelo said Esau. Exactly damn right. Clap it up for D'Angelo. Exactly right. Goddamn. Damn right. Clap it up. It's Esau. So the main one that he's talking about is Esau. Now, are they the only nation that oppress us? We've been in captivity in a lot of nations, so name another. So we'll, he said Esau. Let's put it over here. Esau, main one. Esau, okay? Like that. That's the main one. The main wrong fellow up in there that's always screwing something up. D'Angelo, he said, Esau, that's the one that oppresses us, man, on a daily. He hunt our steps, Lamentations 4:17, that we can't even go on the streets. Now, I repeat this, I love the text. But it's sad that our people have to go through that. But the Most High allowed this to make us strong. I brought it out in one of the classes. It's making us strong. That's the main thing. So what's the more oppressors that we're dealing with out here? You eat his foods. You definitely eat Esau's food. All that pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. That's what he loved. That's garbage. That's not even human food, man. It's not made for human consumption. Roaches and rats and cats and dogs, especially the Esau swine. So what's some more characters they have? Tell me about it. What's some more characters? Characters. What's some more nations that oppress us? Name me one anyway. Anybody? In the chat, type it up. We'll give you a second. Type it up. You'll find them. Let's go to it real quick here. He said Esau. Let's go to another one here. Let's go to where it is. If you don't know, turn your Bible into Psalms 83. Let's find it, okay? So if you don't know, then turn your Bible. Let's find out where it is. Let's see. Who have in the chat here? Kapah, Salak, if I may, sir, the Moabites and Amorites. Damn right. The Moabites, clap it up for Kapah. Moab and Ammon. Now, who is Moab and Ammon? Type that in, Kapah. Tell them what it is. If you know what it is, anybody in the chat, if you know who Moab, she said Moab and Ammon. All right, very good. All right, she said Moab. And she said Ammon. Moab and Ammon. Who is that? We've gone over this class before. I know we have. So take your time. Type it up. Who is that? She said the Chinese and Japanese. Yeah. Clap it up for her. Exactly right. We got all kind of participation in class today. Clap it up. Ladies, clap them hand claps up. Listen, give yourself some hand claps right there. Give yourself some hand claps because that helps you give the brotherhood and sisterhood to each other. Clap it up to have understanding. You're supporting each other for your answers, okay? That's what I'm really trying to say. So clap it up in class. That's not a problem. Clap it up. She said the Moabites, Chinese, them rascals where you get your food from a lot, and the Japanese. So like we go to war tomorrow, we send them tomorrow, there ain't gonna be no misunderstanding. We're gonna call it like it is. It ain't gonna be no direct attack. Moab, that's what you is. Ain't no misunderstanding about it. Esau, red. Moab, slanted eyes. Ammon, pretty much the same idea. D'Angelo, good, glad you guys did that. But the Moabites in the Japan, and they're more. You see it in Psalms 83. Let's read about it here a little bit. Turn your Bible in Psalms 83. Let's get some more characters so you guys can understand it. Of all these nations, man, we were put in captivity. Most High, He allowed us to go in captivity. Nothing can happen unless the Most High does it. Unless He wants to happen. He did it for a reason, for our lesson. Teaches us a favor, man, so we can understand what's going on, okay? Psalms 83. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. You know, the Most High said, cut them off. Yeah, so to what? Why? That the name of Israel may be no more remembered. They didn't want to remember us. Man, we don't even know who we are. Okay? For they have consulted together with one consent. That means one consent. Not all over the place, just they got together and said, look, we're going to teach these Hebrew. That's how you know it's us. That's how you know that the Hebrew Israelite is the 12 tribes of Israel of blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We're the ones cut off. We're the ones who don't know we are. Say we don't. It says that there may be no more remembrance in verse 4 there, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. That means they're confederate. They come together. Okay? All right? The tabernacles of Edom. That's what D'Angelo said. That's Esau. He's the same. Same thing. Same person. Edom. All right? We'll write it up here. Edom. All right? Edom. Okay? Moab. Right here. That's what Sister Kappa said. Those are the Chinese. And then, of course, we have Hagarenes. I believe those are Africans. Gabal, I'm not sure. And the Ammon, that's right here. Japan, I'll get into that next week, hopefully. Amalek, those are white people also. All those are Esau. Because we found out some of Amalek's people, the Amalekites, the Amalek, that's the people, the people over there in the 1948 Balfour Declaration, the Germans that live and call themselves Jews right now, and they're not. They say that they're Jews, and they're not. I think it's Revelation 2 and 9. Say they are. Those are Amaleks. Okay? The Philistines, there are more Africans, habits of Tyre, Ashur, joined also with them, the whole bunch of the lot. Okay, all right. And in other words, we repeat this every Sabbath services, the Most High willing. And Psalms 83, you'll find a lot of those nations in here. We don't get into one of those nations and talk about them and tell you exactly who they are, okay? But those are the nations, all right? Those are nations the Most High called the oppressor. So those are called Nagash. And we'll get into it. Why do you write a G? So we got the Na. Now we have to write a Ga, okay? That Ga. You look over here, the Ga looks like this. I didn't write that down as a similarity because there's really not much that looks different. That's a Ga. Looks like a man walking. A walking man. I used to call it a walking man, matter of fact, in my learning. Okay? Ga. All right? All right? And we have to break down, we said Ga, now we have to break down Sha. Sha. So we have to come over here to the chart right here. That's a Sha. So we have to put them together. So Nagash, you don't have no connectors, but we at least have to write the sound here. So it looks like this, like that. Okay? Like that. Sort of like that. That's a Sha. It looks similar to the Paleo, but they both look like a W. But that W right there, that look, is a Sha. It's called Sha. And there it is. You drop the A. You don't need the A. You don't need it. Because if you didn't, it would be Nagasha. But it's Nagash. Okay, if you were doing this in Hebrew, Paleo, it would look like this. Let's see. Na, like that. It'll be Na. We'll do it for illustration purposes here. Then we'll have a Ga, and then we'll have a Sha, like that. And we'll have a connector right there, independent connector, and then we'll have a dependent connector right there. And there's the word in Hebrew, in Paleo, I'm sorry. Nagash. Over here it's in Paleo. You don't need connectors. And here it just don't have an ending character, so that's where it is. Nagash. Nagasha. A Nagash. Nagash. Okay? Let's lock you for a second. Y'all write that down. Make sure you understand that. Okay. All right. Okay, Nagash. Hold on, let me grab something here. Hope you guys are writing that down. Still got a little bit more time here in class. I spent a lot of time on understanding the similarities. So make sure you write these down, because these similarities right here, they kind of help you in understanding of how we form words and what they look like. These similarities kind of like, okay, yeah, you're right. The ha has a space. The ka doesn't. It looks like the tha looks just like him, but only has a club foot on the end. Right away, you'll get that. If you write it over and over and over and over again, that's the main thing, okay? All right, now, all right, let's see. And, so and in Hebrew is wa. Wa, just like that. So we have, and where's the wa? Where's the wa in Paleo? I mean in Assyrian. It's way over here. Wa. Okay? Right there. Okay? So let's draw it. Looks like a little stem with a little stem on the top. It looks like a small L with a little crook on the top. That's wa. Of course, if you were drawing it in Syrian, Paleo, it would look just like this. That wa. Okay? But this is Assyrian. Of course, that's Paleo. All right? Sure. That's Paleo, and this is Assyrian, of course. Okay? All right. That's the difference. Wa. Wa. Wa is and in Hebrew, okay? And the word choose is bakar. And let's write that. Bakar. All right? Bakar, okay? Bakar. So let's write that. Let's write it down in Assyrian right here. Let's write the ba. Remember that? Right there? Right here. Here's ba right there. Look at it. Don't look at this. Look at it. There you are, right there. Ba. Okay? Then we will have the ka. Here's that ka. And I want you guys in the chat, if you're paying me attention, is this right? Is that ka right? Or should I use another ka? Let me know. Is this ka right here? Right? Type it up in the chat. Say kan or la'a. Is that ka? I'm writing the word bakar. In other words, I'm showing you right here. This ka right there. Is this ka okay? Or should I be using another ka? Is that ka okay? All right? Somebody correct me. Correct me in the chat. You know? Somebody correct me. Somebody correct me. Am I right? Over here. I ain't done yet. I ain't done. I haven't put the R on the end yet, or the Ra, but is this ka okay? Come on, work with me. Right here. Is that ka okay? In other words, right there. Is that ka okay? Or should I be using another kind of ka? Tell me about it. Which one is it? You know? Of course, we have a Ra like this. Remember we talked about it? Like that. Y'all let me know. Is this car? I want to know. See how wide that Ra is like I did right here? That Ra. So I said, Bakar. Is this ka okay right here? Somebody type in the chat. La'a or Khan. Come on now, everybody. The word choose, Bakar. I'm writing it out. I'm writing it out in Assyrian Hebrew. Work with me. Bakar. Is this ka okay or not? Is that the right one? Tell me about it. Look on the board. Is that ka okay? Right there. We'll give you guys a second there. Second to write it. Okay? Bakar. Tell me about it. Give you guys a second, another 15 seconds. All right? Give you guys 15 seconds. Just write it down. Lock it. Is that all right? That car okay? All right. What do y'all recognize that I did right here? Is this car right here? Right here. Is this car okay? Right there? That one. Bakar. Is that right? Everybody don't type at once. D'Angelo, Kapa, Adrian, Quan, everybody in the chat, to name some more. To name everybody in the chat. Is this right here? We'll give you 10 more seconds. See? We're talking about this right here. When I said Bakar. Is that right? Well, I'll go ahead and just get it on there. Ain't nobody gonna answer me there, I guess. Really, I'm just trying to throw you off because the word ha, that's a ha. That's a ka next to it. So the space, you have to close this space up to make it a ka. That's the whole point. Now that's a ka. Now that's a ka. Now that's a ka. Let's see. Who we got in the chat? Who typed it up there? Kapas, Alakia. Sir, if I may, La'a. She says incorrect. Type it up for her. All right, good. And of course, Kapa, you just say Khan or La'a. You don't have to, type it up. You don't have to be so formal because I don't want you to be able to, unless you just like to type, but that's not a problem with me. I don't have no problem with that. Type it up for her, though. Get her hand. Exactly right. She was wrong. She said she was exactly right because what I did was put a space in there and call it. That's a ha. That's baha. Baha. But really, if you want to make that word right, you have to take it all the way to the top, no space, and make it look just like this. Ka. Y'all understand that? Type it in the chat if you understand that. Type of one. Kapa had it right. And I'm pretty sure the rest of y'all had it right. Type it in the chat that you understood. That's ka right there. Ba-ka. You leave a space in there, it will be baha. And that's how you understand Hebrew. You got to understand these characters and what they look like. And the R, look how wide it is. See how wide this ra is? Okay. Y'all go ahead and type that down in your notes. All right. All right. All right, let's go. And let's finish this up here. Not one. So we're going to say la'a. We're going to say la'a. Not one. We're going to say none. I'm going to do it like I did before because the word really doesn't exist that much. So I'm going to write la'a akad. None. I'm gonna say to say none, I'm gonna say not one. La'a akad. Because in Hebrew, akad is one. All right? Okay? La'a akad. Okay? That's my way of saying it. And then we're gonna say shal. The word for Hebrew, we don't need all that right there. Let me say, that's the Paleo right there. The word in Hebrew is shal, for of. Shal. So far we have quana la'a, ha, dash. Okay? Wa, and. Okay? Bakar. Choose, bakar. La'akad, none, or not one. Same difference. Shal, and then you want to say, the word for way in Hebrew is darak. We'll write the word darak. the rock. Okay? You notice I ain't erased really nothing off the board because we have this big old beautiful board, okay? We're going to say the rock. Let's make this plural. Let's make, and then his is, when you want to say his in Hebrew, and the masculine, you say wa. Okay? But, you know, you don't say shawa the rock. You say the rock wa. So we're going to bring it on the end. You can say, we're gonna make it plural. We're gonna make it more than plural. So we're gonna say in Hebrew the rock yam, but we gotta remember to bring this wa over here. We're gonna make it a possessive adjective because that's in Hebrew. This is actually a possessive adjective, wa. So we're gonna say the rock yamha, just like that. Okay. Get this out of the way. I don't want to get people confused. Okay. All right. So the word would be darakyam. To make it plural, we say darak is the base word. Okay? And we're going to say darakyam ha. So I'm sorry, not ha. Darakyam wa. Sloppy there. Darakyam wa. Darakyam wa. His ways. Whose ways? Oppressor ways. Don't choose none of his ways. That's what this whole sentence is about. You don't want to choose his way, so you got to make it. You got to say his wa. But we're going to make it plural, not just way. If we just said one way by itself, we would have said the rock wa. His way, you know. This case, we're saying his ways, plural. So let's make sure that you understand when you see this word yum. That's plural. Okay, and we're saying this possessive adjective is a PA. Okay, that possessive adjective is right here, wa. That's what formed this whole word, wa. So you don't have to say wa right here no more. You know, but it came from here. I sort of put it under here. And let's put it in a circle so people won't understand that we don't have to really use it. Except for the end over here. Bring it over here. The rock wa yum. And I want to make it first the rock yum. That means that's plural. That's ways. But I want to say his ways. So you put it at the end. The rock yum wa. You have to put it at the end. So I hope we understood that. And I hope we got a lot out of that. Okay, good. So yeah, everybody in class understood it, and that's of course if we want to say how much time we got. We got most of it. I think we got most of it out. Yeah, we got just a little time. So what we'll do, we'll say shal. We'll say like this in Hebrew and Syrian shah. And of course we have this L over here, shal. Then we'll have like this, like that. That's shal, of. His, of course we don't need that. So we'll write da. We'll write a da here. Da, like that. Remember that da? There's the da, right there. Okay, da, ra, da ra. Like this. See how it's wide? The rock. Okay. Then we'll write the rock. And then we'll write a ka. We have to put the ka in there. So that ka is not at the end. So it's going to be this ka right here. Right there. It looks like a C. Okay. Like that. It also looks like a C in Paleo, only Paleo has little stems. But we're doing a Syrian right now, of course. Okay, so the rock. Then we have a ya. We have a ya. It looks like this. The ya looks like a little bird flying in the air. It's like this right here. Okay. Right there. Little bird flying in the air. Okay. Darakya. Okay, and then we're going to finish it off. Let's finish it off for class here. Yeah, I'm going to have a ma, and then that ma looks like this. Looks like that. Okay. And so forth. We don't have an ending character yet. It's a long word, so we'll have to say wa. So where's the wa? Where does the wa look like? Well, it's way over here. So we got to look right here. There's the wa. It's not an ending character, so it'll just look normal. This looks like a regular wa. Like that. That word is darak yamwa. It means his ways, coming from the root word darak. Okay, so I think that's going to be pretty much for class. I think we understood it. When the Bible says, Proverbs 3:31, envy thou not the oppressor. It says it. See if I can find it. I'm sorry, it's locked. Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. That means don't choose his religions, don't choose his foods, don't choose his women, don't choose his clothing. I don't have enough time to get into all of the examples, but those are the things you don't want to choose. Don't choose. That's why Most High says separate from them. So you won't have to do that. In captivity, that's what we did. And like I said, envy thou not the oppressor and choose not his ways. Kwana'a la'ah ha nagash wabakar la'ah akad shal darak yamwa. That's how you say it in Hebrew. As far as Kazakhstan Parsons. So, anyway, guys, hope you understood that. We're going to read some security announcements here for class, getting all this in. Let's see. Yeah, we got some time here. We're about to finish here. Anyway, and before we read that, it's important to know that in the similar Paleo characters here and the similar Assyrian characters right in here, right in there, make sure you guys write that down. Because that's important. Because if I took the time to write those on the board, that means those are the most difficult understandings to have in the Hebrew. Let's draw so you'll understand the Assyrian. Let's draw a line around all that so you'll understand that. Okay. Yeah, like this. Let's lock you there. There we go. Oops. Not quite like this. This line right here is a similar characters for the Syrian. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see the difference. And the black line, of course, is a similar characters for the Paleo. It's important to understand that ha, ka, and tha, they look alike, but they're not. Different sounds. Da, ra, and ka look alike. So lock it for a second. Okay, let's lock it for a second. Start. They look alike, but they are not alike. The da, ra, and the ka, one's the ending character, and the ra a little wider, and the da got a little hip on the right there, and offset. And of course, the na and the ba, they look nothing like just, And the na over here, a little 7, looks like this ka almost, only this is slanted for the na. It happens at the end. The ataza, right here, looks like a Y, and it's like and the I sort of look alike, but they're two different characters, okay? And the taza at the end, so it looks like another Y, only it's long, and at the end it occurs at the end. And the ma and the sa looks like they look similar. One's oval and one's square. That's how you can tell, okay? A lot of little stem at the end. The ma here occurs at the end, the sa. You just got to learn these, okay? And of course over here, we talked about all of these before, and that's how you can tell. So let's clap it up for class. All right? You're still in class, let's clap it up. Give yourself a clap, an understanding, and support each other in class. And it's good that you understood it. It's good that you hung in there and learned it and understood what the Hebrew similarities are, and you learned how to write the sentence, envy not thou the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, out of Proverbs 3 and 31, okay? That's important to understand. All right. We'll do the security announcements right here. All right. ISUPK security announcement. The ISUPK started off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother or sister: when a brother or sister comes to school, they have off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and the sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8, and 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of increase the Most High gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher, the priest fund. This free will offering for the priest is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would uphold the convocations. Of course, we're in the, we just got through the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but now we're in the Feast of the First Fruits, starting the Sabbath Unleavened Bread, sundown, Sunday, May 2nd, 2021. It count 50 days, and then celebrate the 50th day, Sunday, June the 20th. The 21st, start before sundown, Leviticus 23, 10, and 22, of course. And then we'll get into that. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, and headband and scarf. I see some brothers and brothers are wearing their boots, getting ready for camp, you know. And if you're not trying to become a trooper, like I said, keep staying in class. And like I said, we're going to clap it up for Officer Natazah and ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana for taking out his money and time for giving this glorious board here in South Carolina class, you know. It's twice as big, and it's so easy to write on. So let's clap it up for Officer Natazah. All right, all the hard effort. We'll clap it up also for Officer Dawada, who furnishes the board, and Officer Natazah Gabar, who helped us with the board also. These men of the Most High, priests and prophets, clap it up for him. Natazah spent his money and his effort for this board, 80 inches. I'm sorry, 8 feet. I believe it's 8 feet. I believe it is. Looks like it. I think it is. By 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, that's money well spent on a brand new board here so we can teach LASHAWAN QADASH class. That's right. Clap it up in class. Exactly right. For everybody. And I appreciate that for what you've done. So we're going to do a salute to all my brothers. Amajim Shabbat. Amajim. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak Thumb. We'll do a courtesy salute to the sisters. So we turn to the sisters. And the sisters, you guys put your hands together like that. But the men, you put your hand over your chest. You say Amajim Shabbat. Amadrim, okay? You say, Yahweh Shema, Alatha Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to all the sisters. And for that we say, Shalom.